it's a dance. So you guys can stand up. There's no moves, but you guys can stand up. It is a Kids Box song, or sung by Kids Box.
Grammarly helps make your writing clear and concise, no matter where you are. With Grammarly on your computer and phone, you always have an expert writing assistant. Land the job with
There's actually dance moves to this on the movie, but I can't remember them. Okay, so I played that song. Oh gosh.
Hey guys,
I played that song because today we're going to talk about something called onomatopoeia. Have you guys ever heard of the word onomatopoeia? Onomatopoeia?
One of my friends are called that.
They're called an onomatopoeia. Okay. Say, I want you guys to say that word with me. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia.
One of my stuffed animals are named that.
That is a funny name. So an onomatopoeia is a sound word. It's a word that kind of sounds like the sound that something makes, if that makes sense. So like boom, boom, clap. Boom, boom, clap. Boom, boom, clap. Doesn't that kind of sound like you hear boom, boom, clap? What are some other things that might make the boom sound? Okay, what are some other things that might make the boom sound? Jaden, what are some other things that might make the boom
Bang, bang,
sound?
clap.
Huh?
Bang, bang, clap.
What is something that makes
Bang,
that
bang,
sound? Like my
clap.
feet make that sound whenever I stomp. Lily? Yeah, like that. What about that? What else might make that sound? Yeah. Okay, so those noises make that sound. What about thunder. When you hear thunder, it might sound like boom, like when lightning hits. Okay, we're gonna read a book that has some onomatopoeias in it. 1, 2, 3, eyes and ears on me. Briar, eyes on me. We're gonna listen to a book that has some onomatopoeias in it. And then we're going to look at some examples, and you guys are gonna help me write some on our paper over there. Then you guys are gonna find some on your own. Please stop with your feet, William.
Muncha, Muncha, Muncha. Written by Candace Fleming. Illustrated by G. Brian Karras. And read by Auntie Lee. For years, Mr. McGreely dreamed of planting a garden. He dreamed of getting his hands dirty, of growing yummy vegetables, and of gobbling them all up. But he never once tried it until... This spring, said Mr. McGreely, this spring, by golly, I'm going to plant a garden. So he hoed and he sowed and he watched his garden grow. Lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes. Yum, yum, yummy, said Mr. McGreely. I'll soon fill my tummy with crisp, fresh veggies. But one night, when the sun went down and the moon came up, 3 hungry bunnies appeared. Tippy, 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 pat. Muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his gnawed sprouts, he was angry. So he built a small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. There, he declared, nobody can get into my garden now. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Spring hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his nibbled leaves and gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. So he built a tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. Humph, huff, those flop ears will never get over it. Nobody can get into my garden now. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, scratch. Spring hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was really, really angry. So he made a deep, wet trench outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetable garden. Ha! He snorted. Those pufftails can't get under it. They can't get over it. Nobody can get into my garden now. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Dive, paddle, slash, slash, slash. Dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, scratch. Spring, hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chomped blossoms, his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was furious. So he hammered and blocked, sawed and stalked, drilled and filled and trapped and locked, and he built a huge, enormous thing before the deep wet trench, outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetable garden. I've outsmarted those twitch whiskers for sure, he exclaimed. They can't get through it, they can't get under it, and they can't get over it. No bunny, no way, no how can get into my vegetable garden now. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 stop. The 3 hungry bunnies looked and smelled and touched the huge, enormous thing before them, and tippy, 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 pat. The bunnies hopped away. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his untouched vegetables, he was happy. I beat the bunnies, he whooped and did a jiggly-wiggly victory dance. Then he climbed over, jumped across, squeezed between, and crawled under until he reached his vegetable garden. Ah, sighed Mr. McGreely, at last. Smacking his lips, he picked and pulled up lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes. And with his basket overflowing, he reached inside for something yummy. Muncha, muncha, muncha.
Okay, so there were some examples of onomatopoeia in there. What do you think one was? What about the noise they
This
made?
is the checkers game where
Oh my
grandson
goodness.
and grand.
What about the noise they made when they were eating? Muncha, muncha, muncha. That kind of sounds like when a rabbit is eating carrots, right? Muncha, muncha, muncha. Okay, I have some examples on here. I have them covered up what they actually are, but I want you guys to help me figure out what they are. So, this is popcorn. What kind of noise does popcorn make? What? Pop. So that would be the onomatopoeia. Pop. Pop. Have you ever heard popcorn popping? Does it kind of sound like, just yes or no, does it kind of sound like pop, pop, pop? Yep. So it is pop. What about this one? It is a bell. What? Ding, ding, ding. Yes, that is the onomatopoeia. Ding, ding. Okay, what about this one? Meow. Meow. So that's the word, but that's also the sound that cats make, right? Yes. Meow. What about this one? Yes. So that's a word, but it's also an onomatopoeia. Or it's the sound that the horse makes. Okay, what about this one? Boom. Okay. Boom. Boom. Okay, what is the baby doing? Okay, it's not crying. What do you do when you pat? Burp. Yes, burp. When you burp, okay, when you burp, does it kind of sound like burp? Well, sometimes they might. Sometimes they might not. But that is the onomatopoeia. Burp. That is a sound word. Okay, this one might be tricky. Soda. What does it kind of sound like when you open a soda? Kind of like fizz. Fizz. Huh? You think I made these? You think I made like all the pictures? Yeah, I put them together.
And the words.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why
Yeah. Okay, what about this one? Yep. So it's like okay, one more. Don't get too crazy, okay? Yep, okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, eyes and ears on me. So that was some examples of onomatopoeias. Now we're going to make a chart with some that we've talked about. So let me get some colors. You can tell me some of these. You can tell me a different one. A good way, if you don't know exactly what you want to say, is think of different animals. Like I had a horse, a chicken, a cat. There's some different animals that might make some sounds. So raise your hand if you can give me an example of an onomatopoeia. Owen? What? Oh, a cow? Moo? Yep. Moo. Zach? Cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doo. William? Woof. Okay. That one's kind of tricky to spell, but that is one like A-R. That's how I spell it. Okay. Lily? Meow. Ooh, I have one. What about when you like jump in a pool or jump in water? Splash. Sasha. An owl. What does an owl say?
That's a wolf. This is it. No, this is
Okay, Kyler. What was it? Woof. Like a dog?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wolf, wolf. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa.
Woof. Daniel. Like a snake hiss. Yep. Okay, Audrey. Nay. Like a horse. Oh, Jaden, I wish you would have been raising your hand to say that one. That one was a good one. JD?
Taco.
What?
Taco.
What is that?
Crunch.
Oh, crunch?
Taco says crunch.
Oh, a taco. I thought you said caca. I was like, what is that word? Like crunch? Awesome. That is a good one. Crunch, like when you crunch it on some chips. Crunch. Another one, Jonathan. You what? Cat. What does the cat say? Meow. We have meow. What about like when you pat your back? Pat, 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 pat. Would that be one? Pat, 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 pat. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Who have I not called on? Jasmine. A what? A what?
What does the pig say?
Oh, a pig.
Say it louder. Oink.
Oink. Yes. Oink. Oink. Okay, who have I not called on? Chesley. Moo. Yep, we got Moo. Natalie.
Drums.
Do what?
Drums.
Drums. What does that kind of sound like? Boom, boom, or bang, bang, bang. Kind of like that?
Like a drum roll.
Bang, like a drum. Jackson. A what? A bear? What does a bear say? Okay, I don't, like a growl. Growl. Okay, that is a lot of good examples. I like how you guys went through a lot of animals. I have one more thing for us to do. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. It is a sheet that has some examples with pictures and the words beside them. It's like multiple choice. You have to choose which one would make that sound. So I want you guys to sound out the words as best as you can using your beginning sounds, and make sure you go through the whole word. For example, this top one, what is happening? Can you see it? Okay, so you're going to look at the choices right beside it. And you'll circle the best one. So I'm passing them out. Thursday, get your pencil box. Tyler. Friday, get your pencil box.
Open it all the way up, Daniel. And you don't need to get down on the floor. Stand up. Stand up. There you go.
Monday.
Wednesday.
You have 3 choices.
Lily, come on.
Yes, you're Wednesday.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No, everyone is here. You're welcome. Bye.
Okay. That's like whenever you wash your hands. So it's like or drip. Do you have another one? Do you have another pencil? I can use that one. Tuesday. Got them done, JD? Okay.
You have a pencil that works. Put your name on it.
Yes.
And there's your second pencil.
Make sure your names are on them. Is your thumbs up to say you're done having?
Awesome.
Yes. Don't your stuff and get back to your seat to do your work.
Okay, Jasmine.
Okay, everybody pretty much done? Yes. Sasha, are you done? Okay. Still working? Okay, let's go through a few of them. Well, there's only a few of them. So what's the first one? Pop. 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 What about the next one? Crash. Good. What about the next one? Faucet. Drip. What about the next one that a lot of us are doing? Achoo. A lot of us are sneezing. And the last one? Clap. Awesome. Okay. I would like for you guys to, when I call your table, put them in the red basket. We're going to go through small groups. So,
When she calls your table.
yes. Are we going to do are we going to do the centers? I think we should.
Yes.
We're going to do the centers again. So, whenever I call your table, I would like for you to get a center. Unless, okay. So,
Could we also do I ready as well?
yes, I would like for you, if you have gotten your lessons completed, and I ready, you get a center. I would like for you guys to do a few more minutes of I ready, and then you get a center as well, unless you're with a small group. So, Thursday, go ahead and put your work in the red basket.
Sasha, you may go ahead and get the center since we don't have your iPad yet. Okay? One of those red things. Aubrey, will you explain to her the centers? Okay, well, when she calls your table, what can you do?
Wednesday.
When she calls your table, what can you do? What did she say? Did Jaden do his work? You can get a center. So put your name on your paper, put it in a red basket. No, Jaden, you're going to need to put your paper away.
Alright.